We got a huge crypto breakout after this full moon. So I had to come on here. I am a little bit jet lagged. I came from Bali all the way to California. It's late here, but I had to come on live to talk about this because, man, Bitcoin just had a huge breakout from really 110 to, man, it's at $122,000 right now. So this is fantastic. Ethereum has broken above this kind of level of potential resistance here. That was a little messy, but let's see if I can, yeah, this potential area of resistance over here. And it's arguably breaking out, at least for the short term. XRP is at $2.91, not bad. Sui's at $3.88. So things are looking pretty good. All right, and so I recently came out with this warning July 10th through 11th full moon video. I said a major shift for crypto. If you look right here, actually it doesn't show up on the screen there. Let's see if I can zoom out a little bit. So I said the title of the video, yeah, it's on the bottom there, major shift for crypto. And so I can show you again what I said in this video, but I was saying we potentially have a major shift here. I wasn't sure what direction. You know, there was many positive transits. If we overview here, I was overviewing all of these positive transits, but then there was this wild card transit that made it very difficult to figure out which way the market was signaling. But good news, man. We got through the worst. Well, not worst. It actually turned out to be bullish. But the most tricky transit here, Uranus squaring the Bitcoin Venus, turned out to be very bullish. So the fact that we're getting a huge breakout with that is really good because we also have July 15th, we have Uranus trining the Bitcoin progressing sun, which is very positive for the Bitcoin astrology, which could signal maybe further upside. We'll see. And then this is in line with the house announcing the week of July 14th as crypto week. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit more about this because, this could signal more volatility. But man, this is, we're getting a lot of bullish momentum here. Not going to lie, I like it. Okay, so let's take a look at what I said in the previous video here. Get the volume correct. Okay. And let's take a look at what I was saying back here. July 14th, Saturn's retrograding, and right before that, Neptune retrograded a few days ago. So I looked in the history books and I found the last time Neptune retrograded, and then it was followed by a Saturn retrograde, like it's happening right now, was back in 2023, June 18th. And at this time, Bitcoin pumped from 25K to 30K. So what I did was I made a yellow line for the Neptune retrograde and a light blue line for the Saturn retrograde. And the last time we had that was here, but we had the Saturn retrograde before the Neptune retrograde. I want to see the last time we had the Neptune retrograde and then a Saturn retrograde was right here, happening in May and then again in June. And that's where, right after we had the blue line, the Saturn retrograde, was when we had this major explosion from about 25K to really 31K. Here's the Bitcoin seasonality. So that was interesting how I was talking about basically the last time we had a similar astrology transit where we had first had Neptune retrograde like we had about a week ago, and then we had Saturn retrograde afterwards. We actually had a major breakout. And that's what we got here as well. So we look at where we're at now. We just had the Neptune retrograde on July 5th. And now we're already going out into a major breakout into Saturn retrograde now. A lot of people were worried about Saturn retrograde because, I mean, if you just think logically, you don't do any analytical studies of the Bitcoin astrology history. If you don't look back, like I did in that previous video, what happened back here in 2023, where, we actually got a breakout with Saturn retrograde. Now, Yeah, because if we just thought of it like just what we would think would happen, it doesn't always happen, because Saturn retrograde, you might think, oh, that could be a contraction, but it's not always the case. It can bring a big market shift, and that's what we got. So pat myself on the back for that. Helping you guys out here, doing the best I can in these extremely volatile markets. I don't get everything right, but these astrology transits have been giving a little bit of hints here and there. So good job on that major breakout. Let's also take a look at the total market cap. Let's go to the weekly, and we are above the all-time high. But we still have to wait on the weekly close. So we're going to get the weekly close in less than 24 hours here. Now, the tricky part is, we're right above it right now. We're right above, we just made a new all-time high. But the concern would be if we drop back down and we close the week below the previous all-time high, and then we, reject off of that level and then we head back down, that would be a lot more bearish, which is possible. That is a possible case. But of course, what everyone would prefer is if we go up here, we close the week, and then maybe we back test it, and then we continue to go back up. Of course, that would be much more exciting for the bulls. But we always want to be prepared for every situation here. We don't want to lose our hard-earned gains. We want to capitalize on the markets here, whichever way they're going. And total 2, which excludes Bitcoin, is also breaking out from this area of resistance that was resistance for some time, ever since May. Actually, no, ever since February. We've been having major resistance with the altcoins in this area. And I can point that a little more clearly. Really, this yellow line right here. And we just broke out of there. So that's looking really good, at least in the short term. Altcoins have been doing pretty well. I mean, if we look at the Bitcoin dominance, we've been dropping. We got, let's see, 3 weeks. Looks like we got 3 down weeks in a row. 1, 2, 3, which is potentially bullish for altcoins because, and then we also got from the all-time high for the Bitcoin dominance recently, right on June 27th, we got 1, 2, 3 down days. All right, so you see that right here, 1, 2, 3. And historically, it can, not every time, it can mark, a major market shift. We got, 3 down days back in May. We got a little bit of an altcoin run. Didn't pan out. We also got it back in November of last year when we did get a big altcoin run all the way back here. So there's a little bit of a hint there that, man, things could be looking a lot better for altcoins. I mean, even if we look at some of the top altcoins, including Ethereum, I mean, we've gotten some major moves up here. Let's go from, I guess, July 9th around here. 16% upside there for Ethereum. XRP, man. 24% upside for XRP just in the last few days. SUI. I have a bag of SUI. I have a bag of XRP. Pat myself on the back for picking these great coins. And by the way, I've been sharing in my private Crypto Astro Mastermind when I bought SUI. And my members can confirm that I was buying around here at these levels, buying SUI. And I gave out my buy orders so that, everyone could know when I was buying. I was accumulating XRP, in these levels here, a little bit down here. So happy with that. So definitely click the link below to join the Crypto Astro Mastermind to get my latest updates, when I'm buying, when I'm selling, all those goodies. And so, I mean, the top altcoins are doing really well. I mean, even Render. Render's doing okay. Not as good as I thought, actually. 17% upside, not bad. So yeah, altcoins, man, could the altcoin run be around the corner? There's a lot of talk about that all of a sudden, and certainly possible. Now, really interesting. Look at the USDT dominance chart here, and man, we're getting this big dump here, which is really good for crypto. Which means people are selling their stablecoins, but they're buying crypto with it. And this is looking very good so far. Now, if we are hoping for the, mega bull run, all-time highs, banana zone, crazy altcoin runs, we're going to have to get below this trend line here, this white trend line at the bottom here. So we still have a ways to go there because we bounced off of this trend line back in December, and that actually held up the altcoins majorly. So if we could have more upside to go with altcoins, but if they get caught up on this trend line, which is certainly possible, and they get and then they start trading sideways again, and people start buying Tether again, then the altcoins could get a little stuck again. But in that case, maybe we get a little altcoin run like we did in November, and then things kind of stall out again. There's a little bit of a rebound, or the altcoins kind of fall off after that. And then later in the year, maybe we dump below this trend line, and basically, let me zoom out. Yeah, so basically anything below this trend line, that white line, we could signal the banana phase, the mega all-time highs bull run that we've all been waiting for. Or we could just be heading into that right now. It's impossible to say, but so far looking so good because we have been. I really like that we've dumped below the 21 SMA line, this yellow trend line. And I even wrote a note here. If we get rejected off the 21 SMA, that's bullish. And so we got rejected off of this yellow line, and it's dumping way below. So that's looking good. Very good so far. We're liking that for the altcoins. Yeah. Okay. We talked about the Bitcoin dominance. Anything else? I'll take a look at y'all's questions in a moment. Let me check here. And so really interesting about the July 14th week. I have a little concern that maybe, so this is more on the bearish scenario, is that maybe crypto will kind of peak for this week. Maybe we get a local peak, and then we could get because perhaps if there's a bunch of hopium, like if people are just buying Bitcoin and altcoins right now just because of these house announcements, July 14th, the crypto week, this could be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. In the slightly more bearish case, and I'm definitely considering that. So I'm probably going to take some profits this week, but I'll keep you guys updated. I do have like 5% cash, so I do have cash a little bit. And then if we look for any signals, we look at the liquidation data. If you look in the top right, the 24-hour long versus short, we are slightly overweighted in the long area. So more people are going long right now, which could signal that we could actually have a little correction, because usually the market does the opposite. It liquidates the longs if they're overly weighted to the longs. And then we have a little bit of uptick with the daily exchange volume. I've been talking about this for months, which is good. So that signals us some hope, but we really need to see this start going up a lot more if we want to see an altcoin run. Especially, we got to start getting above like 56 billion. We're still at 44 billion right now, so we have a ways to go with the daily exchange volume. And retail is still like not in the building. It's like this is wild. The fact that I'll zoom out here. Let's go in down here, and I'll have to move my face here in a second. Okay. So if we look at the Bitcoin Google searches, I mean, we had pretty high Google searches back in November when Bitcoin was only in the 90Ks, I think. And then we have much lower Bitcoin search volume when Bitcoin's at 120K, much, much higher in price. And arguably, retail is still not, definitely not hitting euphoric, areas here in sentiment. As, if we compare it to the 2021 bull run, it was, Bitcoin Google searches were way up here. This is at 100 on this scale. And right now we're just at 34. So arguably, and then if we look at the fear and greed index, we're at greed, but we still haven't hit extreme greed. So we're probably going to hit extreme greed tomorrow. So it could signal a little bit of a take profit signal. But of course, in bull markets, like things can stay in extreme greed for weeks even. So we'll have to keep ourselves updated with that. But man, this is exciting. A lot of our portfolios are probably in the green. Let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know how you're feeling. We're probably gonna have to play the crypto theme song soon. Maybe tomorrow. Got to keep it a little quiet here because it's like the middle of the night. Can't go too crazy. Let's see. Let me know how you guys are doing in the comments below. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and share this little update. I mean, yeah, Ethereum's looking good, at least in the short term. XRP just poked almost $3. Let's see. Okay, looks like XRP was just short of $3. Yep, but pretty close, very close. Sui's doing well. And yeah, so there's still a little bit of work to do. Like for Solana, hasn't had a breakout yet. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that. But man, I mean, if Ethereum is able to break out, like it's hinting, it's teasing us right now. But if Ethereum breaks out above 3,200 and it closes the week above there, I mean that's pretty good. That's looking pretty good. If we zoom out, we look at the major 50% level. Let's see. What is going on? Let's bring this down. Yeah, so if Ethereum is able to break above the macro 50% level, which looks like from the peak, from the all-time high all the way down to the low in June 2022, the bear market, and the 50% level comes out. Oh, wow, it's actually above the 50% level? So that's really good. So as long as Ethereum holds above 2876, that's pretty good. But even better, we want to hold above 3,000 and then continue up the next week. But we'll have to keep our eyes on how things do in the next week because yeah, there could be a lot of euphoria, a lot of excitement with this news. But is it the buy the rumor, sell the news event? We'll have to keep our eyes on the charts. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.